tips from someone paying $12,000 to do art good. Let's go. I have a drawing of my kid. Plagiarize from yourself, dipshit. I've returned.
All right, so the last time I looked at some TikTok art tips, a lot of the kids seemed to really like it. So today, I'm going to do it again. And for all the boomers out there, TikTok is basically where all the kids post their super short, super chaotic videos. And there are people on TikTok who are teaching art. So I figured, just here to make sure that all the information is good for the art babies, because you don't want the kids listening to nonsense. And there's a lot of that on TikTok. All right, art tips on TikTok. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but let's go.
Stop using squares for hands. Too blocky. Polygons are where it's at. Easier to connect thumbs and fingers. It's hand shape.
All right, so we're talking about hands, and I'd like to think that I know a thing or two about hands, even though I don't really like drawing them. But this is a really good tip. You shouldn't treat the palm of the hand as just a square shape, because it's not a square shape. So if you hold up your hand to your face right now and you look at your palm, it's actually, there's a bit of a taper. So you can see that it peaks at the middle finger and then it comes back down. There is a bit of roundness to the shape of the palm, and there's a bit of taper as you get down to the pinky. So that's a very good point. You don't want to treat it just as a square. Good job.
When in doubt, one finger out.
Hold up. When in doubty, one finger outie? I feel like, doesn't that belong to somebody else there? Ethan Becker's gonna come for you, man. 8 out of 10. You lost 2 points for saying when in doubty, one finger outie. Next.
Burnt out, like really burnt out.
Burnout.
So I wanted to give you some tips on how to get out of artist burnout. I feel like burnout can start from comparison and holding ourselves and our art to such a high standard, and feeling like shit when we don't meet them. My tip is to make
language. Gotta beep that out.
To paint them and to play with materials that you haven't used.
Okay, so I really like that video. I like these more emotional, sentimental videos, because this is talking about artist burnout. And I know that everybody feels burnout at one point or another. Maybe you're forcing yourself to do too many studies. Maybe you're just not having fun doing what you're doing. And they're basically saying that when you're feeling this, go back to doing things that you can have fun with. Find some new materials to work with, play around with different things. It's just get back to the essence of why you do art, to have fun, to escape from reality, to make your own world, to let your imagination run wild, and just, especially with social media nowadays, everybody's out there saying like, yo, check out my work, look what I did, look at how much I've improved over the past 2 weeks. I did this in like 20 minutes. It could be very overwhelming for a lot of people, but remember why you're doing art, to have fun. This video has taken such a wholesome turn. 10 out of 10, good job.
A lot of artists on TikTok seem to just post a time lapse of their art to music and wonder why they don't get many views. I try to do a jump cut about every 2 to 4 seconds in my videos, and I've seen it really makes a difference.
This is kind of funny, because the person's saying when you're posting on TikTok, you want to do a jump cut every 1 to 2 seconds, because apparently the kids have the attention span of a green fruit fly nowadays. I mean, I do that, but my videos on TikTok don't get that many views. So I can't say that this actually works, but I do think that, changing the scene every couple seconds, especially for a platform that's as chaotic as TikTok, is definitely better than just posting a time-lapse video of your drawing and putting music to it, because, you gotta do it for the chaotic brains of the kids nowadays. I get that as 6 out of 10.
If you're an artist and you're watching this, you should start making a certificate of authenticity with every print that you sell, which print you sold, and it actually adds value to your work. To sign, number, and stamp each of them with my brand and logo.
Jesus! The last thing that I expected to see this morning was a butt crack on TikTok. Anyways, aside from this, that certificate of authenticity idea, I can see the value there, how it might make somebody feel like that's a really special piece that they got. But at the same time, it's kind of pretentious.
Nobody's gonna know.
What is this?
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
Oh.
How would they know?
Oh.
I can't. Oh my god.
Wait, hang on. That's actually kind of cool. This is in Clip Studio Paint, but I don't really draw in Clip Studio Paint, so I don't know if you could do that in Photoshop or Procreate or whatever. If any of you guys are like super smart tech support people who know how to do this in Photoshop and Procreate, feel free to drop that in the comments, because I would love to know. That's kind of cool. That seems like it would save you a lot of time. 10 out of 10. I like that. Good job.
Mistakes that are ruining your art.
Okay, look, I love when a video opens with mistakes that are ruining your art. Like, wow.
Which expression you want to draw and do this.
Okay.
To draw entires, the upper eyelid should cover half of the pupil. Surprised eye. Leave small distance between the eyelids and the iris. To draw a normal eye expression, the upper eyelid should cover 1/4 of the eye.
Okay, pause. It's just me, or like, do you guys find this voice annoying too? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my boomer brain. Okay, so I think this video's got a lot of really good points. You know, it's talking about the expressions and how you can use the eyes to show the expression of the face. That's a really important part of any kind of facial expression, is the eyes. What do the eyes actually say? If you have somebody who's surprised, their eyes going to be like wide open. And then if you have somebody who is sleepy, obviously the top eyelid would be drooping down a little bit. And if you have somebody who's really happy and smiling, you might see less of the bottom half of the pupil. So I would say this is a pretty good tip. You definitely got the right idea here. And if you follow these positions for the eyelids when you're drawing an eye, drawing an expression, I think that expression would turn out pretty convincing. So good job. 9 out of 10. 1.6 million likes on a Jesus Christ.
Prevent your spicy art from being taken down. Always show the process of drawing. Don't just show still images.
Okay, so I guess you want to help people find a loophole in the system to not get their not safe for work art taken down. Here's the thing, okay, story time. I posted this image on Instagram, right? She's fully clothed. You're seeing the backside of her shoulder, but here's where it gets interesting. This post was taken off of all the hashtags. It wasn't reaching anybody outside of my followers. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe they flagged this as a nude image, even though it's not. Okay, and then I uploaded the process video for my patrons on Patreon, and I put the same image in a YouTube thumbnail, and that same thumbnail got like 2 strikes for nudity. I guess the point is these algorithms and these, artificial intelligence that detect nudity in your images and in your content, they're not very reliable, and it's always a hit or miss depending on what you're putting up. I guess if this tip works, then it works. How to draw perfect teeth, okay. Okay, so I wouldn't say that's like perfect, but I think you definitely got the right concept here. Instead of defining each and every tooth, you want to hint at the fact that there's more than one. And when you smile, you can see that there are gums that come down into your teeth, and that's kind of what separates the teeth apart. So the concept is definitely correct. Very good job on that. But I think you could even tone down the gums on this a little bit more. You don't even have to draw the lines, towards the corner of the mouth there. You could just have one big white slab. People would know what it is if you have a little bit of definition for the gums. 8 out of 10, you definitely got the right idea there.
Here's some of my art weaknesses.
Not this guy again.
Nice.
How to draw a pretty boy. Okay. Guidelines. Okay. Just been trolled. See, this is why you can't trust anybody on TikTok. You never know what they're up to. This is ridiculous.
I've returned art tips from someone paying $12,000 to do art good. Let's go. I have a drawing of my character. All I need is for them to be holding a staff. Oh wait, I've already drawn them holding a staff. It just so happens that that staff would be perfect for this art piece. Hell yeah. Plagiarize from yourself, dipsh. I've returned art.
Oh my god, that's too much. The amount of chaos on this platform. This is what the kids like nowadays. You just gotta be like chaotic all the time. You gotta like zoom in on your face. You gotta act all crazy. You gotta talk super fast. You gotta be like super energetic. Okay, so the tip is to steal from yourself. Pretty good tip. If you have a lot of content lying around, why not take something from your old piece and put it in your new piece if you want to save some time? But then again, if you're handing in a project with something that you've already done before, that might get a little bit iffy, no? Isn't that gonna like get you in trouble? Yeah, I don't know about this one. 2 out of 10.
This might be the most realistic drawing you've seen.
No, it's not.
I wish I knew when I was starting out with digital art. Tip 1. Don't use black with a low opacity to shade. Instead, set your layer to multiply.
So multiply is a great way to apply a quick shadow onto anything that you've drawn. It pretty much just adds a darkening effect on whatever you have on the canvas. It doesn't actually cover anything up. It lets everything show through. That's why it's so good for shadows.
Tip 2. Avoid using highly saturated colors. Nothing in reality is that.
Yeah, so the color square thing, it goes all the way to the highest saturation possible, but you usually never really get to that point. You never get to that extreme point, just like how you don't get to pure black, and you usually don't get to pure white unless something's very overexposed. So that's a solid point. That's good.
Instead, pick colors in the middle of bottom left side of the color wheel.
Okay, so you lost me a little bit there because I wouldn't say just pick colors from one specific spot on the color wheel. It depends on the atmosphere and the mood that you're going for. So I personally like to go for something a little bit higher because I like my paintings to be brighter. Whereas, you know, somebody like Gui's might go for something at the bottom half of that color block and he would make very dark paintings. It just depends on the atmosphere that you're going for. There is no right or wrong when it comes to where you're picking your colors from. Just don't go to all the extremes, like extreme saturation, pure white. Sometimes it's okay, but definitely not pure black.
Paying attention to your color values.
You definitely want to pay attention to the values of your colors. I think that's a good tip because, you know, without values, things won't look three-dimensional. So overall, a pretty good video. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Well done. How to make your art more spicy. Dark red, but
You changed. You're getting weak.
bro, I didn't even have time to read all that. It's honestly the speed of these videos, just the level of chaos here makes me feel old.
Girl, I got the best art tip for you. When you're shading, do you just randomly go from dark to light to dark, from midtones to light? It is just a map. It's 10 colors, then add my shadows, then...
Dude, that was so hectic. I didn't get any.
This is the one art tip that has helped me more than anything else. Paint the nose first. The central location
What?
will help with the remaining proportions.
Or you could lay down some construction lines and sketch everything out and plan it all out before you paint it. 3 out of 10.
The power this pencil holds, you literally only have to shadow block and apply pressure to make it look like skin.
Oh, I know this. Wait, I used to do this too. I remember when I first learned this, I was like, wait, what? You can make colored pencil look smooth? This is a good tip actually. Just take the white pencil and just draw over the colors that you already have and it just creates this smooth effect. It's kind of like oil pastels, you know, where you just apply a layer of white and then it just mixes everything in and then you can go back into it and add some more shadows. That's a solid tip actually. I completely forgot I knew about this. 10 out of 10. Good job. You know, the videos that I've seen so far aren't so bad. Maybe TikTok is the way to go.
All people have a natural curve to their writing. I'm right-handed, so I pivot with a right-handed curve. If I try to create a left-handed curve, it becomes shaky and bad. You can see the difference. I would have to move my entire arm to get a better curve. So don't be afraid to move the paper to get your natural curve.
So he's correct in saying that there is a curve to the way that your hand moves. You see, there's a natural curve that the tip is following. And if you are keeping your hand completely still, you can only pivot in this curve. You can't go the other way around. It would be very awkward. This is why if you go to an art school where somebody actually knows what they're talking about, they're gonna tell you to try to move your entire arm and not just your fingers or just your wrist. You want to be able to move this entire thing. Now, obviously, you don't have to do this for every single brushstroke and look like a crazy person, but I'm drawing on the screen here, okay? If I were to do this curve that is going against my natural curve, it's very awkward. I gotta use my hand. But if I were to use my arm for this, it's super easy. So instead of flipping your stuff all the time, get in the practice of using your entire arm, using your elbow, using your shoulder, to get the lines to look the way you want them to look. It's a lot of muscle memory, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. It's a more valuable skill than rotating your canvas and sketchbook around. I don't know, 4 out of 10.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know? I can't. Oh my god.
I mean, that's not that crazy. You're just using a blend mode basically to add on top of what you already have and make the colors a little bit more vibrant. If you know your blend modes, overlay is basically something that's going to make the layers underneath look a little bit brighter, a little bit more saturated.
Dude, how do you feel?
Listen, it's funny, but this thing, so good. It helps your hand glide right across the entire screen and you don't leave smudge marks on the screen. I mean, if anything, when you glide your hand across the screen, you're actually cleaning it because this is cloth. Oh my God, that's dirty. Art improvement. Okay, let's go. The colors are so much more vibrant. This makes me so happy. I love that. All right, so that's all I'm gonna go through today for the art tips on TikTok. We'll spare the rest of you guys. You know, I think we got some pretty good tips out of this video. This was much better than the first one. But again, here's the thing with learning any kind of art tips on TikTok is these videos are so short that people can't really cover the entire topic. So you're only getting snippets of information. But I think overall that was pretty solid. That was pretty good. Again, if you're an art baby and you don't really know what you're doing, here's my advice to you. You wanna be very picky about who you listen to, because anybody can have an opinion, anybody can say whatever they say to you. You want to make sure that the person that you're listening to can actually back up what they're saying and they kind of know what they're doing, okay? You want to just make sure that you're getting advice from people who you admire, people who you trust, people who are out there doing the things that you want to do, and don't take everything at face value from just anybody. Not even me. You know, go look at my artwork. If you don't like the way I draw, don't take advice from me. Simple as that. Okay, so with that being said, there's our second episode of anyways, if you want to see more art content, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Okay, so this phone is actually insane. I started recording at 65% battery, and with the screen recorder on, going through TikTok for 50 something minutes, I'm at 61% now. Screen recorder and TikTok 50 minutes later only dropped 4%. My goodness.